2 seconds.
What up? What up?
Good morning.
Grand Rising, good people.
Grand Rising Queen.
Grand Rising. Oh, yo, let's make sure we all take a sec to get this joint reposted.
I'm about to send it right now.
What you sending it on?
So I go to YouTube on my phone and I click the like the share button and then copy the link and then put the link in my story, or just send people the link so it sends them this video directly.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll be doing. That's what I'm doing on
Yeah.
I just did it on Facebook. We up on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I've been really trying to do my thing with LinkedIn because I was saying, when you're dating, you need to make sure he has a LinkedIn or see if he has a LinkedIn just to test to see.
Oh, you on your Kev Samuels, huh?
Right. And I'm like, I need to be on LinkedIn. I don't even be on there like that.
That's Kev Samuels' advice.
Hey, R.I.P.
See how she try to just avoid it. Oh man, what's the word? What we got today? Nah, let's get the room a little.
What's the weather looking like?
Shoot, hold on. Let me send this real quick. How was it? You said it was hot. The last couple of days, right?
Hot, yeah. Like 84 yesterday. I think it's 67 right now. Yeah, 67, going all the way up to 78. That's a beautiful day.
I'm about to say that's more your type of weather. You don't like it all hot.
Exactly. Yep, I get to be a tour guide today, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, shout out to Angel. I can't wait till she wakes up and gets involved. She's up.
She said good morning.
All right, so Jersey, we got it's 68 and sunny right now. It's gonna be beautiful today. At 4 it says it may rain, but then we got 92.
Oh wow! Outside on a Friday, that sounds
92.
Good. Jersey summer.
We asked for it.
Right, everybody's gonna be at the beach.
You can hear that.
Yeah.
Yo, just want to do like a special release for my new single. It's called Island Ting. Produced by. Now let me stop.
For real.
On a Friday.
I thought you was about to spit a bar. That would have been actually.
I just wanted to vibe with it in the background. What we got? Hold on, let me make sure that I'm on here too.
I should be sending it out. I'm over here just.
So I didn't get to see the finals game yesterday.
Oh, it was another one. Who won?
There was another one. Oh, there was another one. There's another one of them games y'all be watching. Yeah, they had the Denver Nuggets won. Denver's just too damn good, man. I didn't see it though. I didn't see it. I was with my rabbi. You feel me?
Right. Are there any teams that just never do well? Like you just never hear about them doing well, or they just?
Yeah. Right now it's like the Detroit Pistons. The Houston Rockets been doing not so well. I think in San Antonio hasn't been doing well.
Yeah. Because I'm like, how many teams are there? And obviously everybody doesn't win the championship. So like,
I think there's 32.
That are just like, who are the teams that just suck altogether?
Damn.
I was just trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would probably say it's probably like the Detroit Pistons. And in basketball, it's weird. So in football and a lot of other sports, I think the worst team, like just the team with the worst record, they get the like your draft picks are determined based on who has the worst record. So the team with the worst record, they get the first draft pick.
Okay.
It's a lottery. So the team with the worst record just has the best chance of getting the best pick, but they put them into almost like a Powerball type of thing based on your percentage, and then whatever comes out. So this year, I think the team with the worst record got like the 5th or 6th pick, which is terrible. Like that's terrible. That's not what you want. But should have been winning.
Sports are complicated to me.
Hmm?
Sports doesn't seem complicated in a way. Like sometimes it seems simple, but then there's like this other component and then this other component. And it's like, okay, I don't get it anymore.
Sports is life, baby. Sports is life, sweetheart.
Complicated.
Sports is life.
Complicated.
So let's begin to get into this a little bit before I really just be on here acting like WizKid or some shit. Burn up, boy.
Oh God.
Burn up, boy.
You should rap one day.
Bro, I be feeling like people don't be taking me seriously. I make songs all the time.
Okay.
I just don't be putting them out. You feel me? Not yet.
Not yet.
Nah. I got some cool stuff coming out for y'all too. We're gonna have some visuals. Yeah, man.
It's going down.
Y'all will see. I ain't even gonna talk about it. Y'all will see.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
Yo, my internet was choppy last time. I don't know why. Like when I was looking at the video, the downloads, it was choppy. My internet. Is this what we see on top of our pictures with next to the mic? And it looks like the
like Wi-Fi or signal.
Service, the service signal. Yeah, is that Wi-Fi? That's not volume, right?
No, I don't think it is volume.
It's the Wi-Fi. Okay, so
because if it was volume, I would assume it would change
going up and down. Yeah. So right. Yeah, and the volume's over here to the left. Okay. I was just wondering because mine was only at like 2 bars last time. I'm like, hold on, is it the volume? What is it? Hey, Miss Shirley.
Good morning.
We're so happy to have you, Miss Shirley. We got a cool topic for y'all. Let me put the topic in the ticker. Let me put the topic in the ticker. This is gonna be Kamari and we already talked about this.
What? Yesterday. It's love destroying us.
There we go. It's OG Mar.
Okay.
Is love destroying us? No, I'm asking you a question. Is love destroying us?
I feel like there's not enough love or what we think is love. I think, again, to my point that I was saying like last night, like I think people love differently. People understand love differently. And so how it shows up, obviously it's going to show up differently, and everybody just doesn't accept everything. And I feel like our perceptions of love, matching it to our expectations of people, it is destroying us, because like whatever I may have in my mind versus what is reality when it comes to love sometimes are two different things. And so, yeah, that is the part that I think can destroy us, if that makes sense.
All right. So while you were talking, I looked at the definition of love. And it says an intense feeling of deep affection. Mm-hmm. The second definition is a great interest and pleasure in something. What does love got to do with anything? That would be my question. What does love have to do with everything? I feel as if, and it goes back like we were talking about yesterday, the Disney movies. Like we were indoctrinated to have a certain understanding of what love is. We were indoctrinated to be directed by love. Oh, do what you love, or, do all these different things. We were indoctrinated to choose partners based on quote unquote love. And all of these different areas in which we were pushed and encouraged to make decisions based on love and to follow love rather than following purpose, in my opinion, is a huge reason why we're in the position that we're in now.
Mm-hmm.
Why we have an issue with when you talked about yesterday, oh, well, us as women, we don't do a good job choosing, our significant other, husbands, boyfriends, whatever it is. Even though y'all don't choose, I got what you were saying.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I feel like love is important, but it's not enough to sustain anything. I think you do have to have love for something, a deep affection or deep feeling, or like, not even like, because I want to get to Miss Shirley's point. Um, but like, you do have to have love to kind of keep going at something or to keep something up, but it's not enough to sustain it by itself. And I think when she has said you can like someone, you don't have to like, wait, you can love a person, but don't like them, right? So, like, where you're like, I got love for, or I really, love this about this person or whatever, but it's just like I can't get with that other part. So, to me, that's where I kind of look at like where it's not enough to sustain relationships or sustain anything.
All right, so I would agree with that.
Right.
Before I just looked up the definition,
Mm-hmm.
um, but love, based on the definition, is it not just an intense like? Like
Um,
I would have. That's what I said. I would have agreed to the love and the like being different, but based on the actual definition of what love is, it sounds like it's just an intense like.
right.
It's just an intense feeling. See, I think we associate love with actions, with a I don't know, or we should, in my opinion, we should associate it with it. But based on the definition, it's just a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a feeling that you have towards somebody.
Yeah.
And Anthony Vargas wrote, "What up, Anthony?" Anthony wrote, "My definition: love is what you do in spite of what you feel." See, I that would have been my definition before as well, but that's not the definition. Like, love is the feeling. You see, we associate a certain duty and responsibility and actions around love when love is just a feeling. So therefore, it's almost like we're putting love on a pedestal that's much higher than what it actually is. Like, we can create our own definition of what love is, but when I look up love and it says an intense feeling of deep affection, that's just like, it's just feelings. So that's why I said, like, is love destroying us? When you focus on feelings and emotions rather than moving strategically and logically,
Well,
then
mhm.
is that the reason why we don't tend to make good decisions, as you were pointing out in one area, as far as our significant others?
Right. So I think that when it comes to that, if we go strictly, off of the definition of what it is, then we would have to look at it like those emotions, honestly, are hard to escape and hard not to have. It's not something that you just be like, oh yeah, I want these emotions, like I want these, because sometimes you're like, I don't even want to feel this way, because it is distracting, it is clouding your judgment, it is in the way in some cases. So you're like, I wish I didn't feel this way, because then I could operate in a different way, or I could do things differently, because it feels like this uncontrollable thing. Um, However, I think also when it comes to love, again, we all have our own definitions. And so when we have all these different definitions, it's like simple as this. Like when we were talking about divorce the other day, okay, someone can say, I can love you and let you go. And then somebody says, I love you and I love you enough to want to work this out. And we need to stay as a family because, we need to show our children what love looks like. Whatever. So different people can have their own different reasons. And so that's where I think it can destroy us. But I think we also need wisdom beforehand. When you feel those things coming, or when you feel like, okay, this could be a good thing, or if you're dating and you're like, I don't want to be all caught up in my emotions. Let me be smart about certain things. Let me be, so that might be something you can try to implement really early on before you feel like you're falling for something or in love with something or love something. maybe try to like do the pros and cons beforehand. But sometimes when it's emotions, more so like with like, you know, relationships and romantic stuff, it can be like overwhelming. So
I hear what y'all are saying. I hear what y'all are saying. Let me read some of these real quick. Miss Shirley wrote, I love my children unconditionally. Would jump in front of a train to save them, but at the same time, I can dislike them, meaning you don't like the person they're becoming, etc. I agree. And it seems as if we've all accepted a different definition of what love is rather than what's actually in the dictionary. And I think that's what Anthony's pointing out here when he says, I think the English language is just not sufficient enough to describe something as complex as love, which is an umbrella term for so much. Agape, eros, philia is a much better breakdown, in my opinion. Those, what are those, like the Greek gods?
so that's what I was trying to explain last night, and I've only learned that in church. But I honestly feel like I only remember agape. Like, I mean, I know the other names are there, but I don't know what they mean. I forget. Maybe you could tell us, Anthony. Um, but yeah, I know agape is more like that friendship kind of like love. But yeah, no, I think we do have our own definitions, and even if we were just to go based off of just the regular definition or the actual definition, I think we would just say, yeah, that does sound like I like something a lot. But also, when it comes to the destroy aspect, yeah, I like cheesecake a lot, a lot, a lot. But that's not healthy if I just choose to say, oh, because I like it a lot, I can have it every day. I can't. For, you know what I mean? Like, or I like it a lot, I can have multiple times a day. Like, you just can't if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle at any capacity. So it's just like,
So you're
I
saying
like,
that what differentiates between love and like is whether it's good for you or not?
no. I'm just saying, if I love something, like I love cheesecake. I'm just thinking of something I
Yeah.
love. I love cheesecake, but it's not something that I can have every day. If I just go off of my emotions and just say, I love it so much, I have to have it every day, it's going to eventually destroy me or destroy something. So it does. I'm not saying, so again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just agree to the point that it can
Yeah.
destroy us if we use it in that way. If we
Yes.
just go
Yeah.
strictly off of the definition.
See, I think we bought into a Disney fantasy version of love that is just not what love is. I think that um, like I said, we put love on a pedestal. Love is just it's just a deep feeling of liking something at the time. I know Miss Shirley wrote, when you like something, you can stop liking it at some time, but when you love something, it's different. That's someone else's wordplay. I think that you could love something a lot and stop loving it,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that you
I
can.
don't think I could do
It's
that.
just deeper. It's just deeper.
But and then that might be, then again, we come back to the fact that like everybody can do different things, because I don't think that I could just love something and be like, yeah, nope, I'm done. I don't love it
And
anymore.
I don't think that you could really like something and just say no, I'm done.
Right.
So it's the same thing. One's just a little deeper. But as far as love destroying us, let's move more towards that question. I 100% believe that love and how society has pushed love on us to kind of create us to make love decisions rather than decisions out of anything else have destroyed us. I mean, we could look at all the different areas. You talked about with the relationships, a lot of the decisions that we make, people kill in the name of love, people destroy others in the name of love. Like, love causes a lot of people to act irrational in a
Right.
lot of different ways. Just in my opinion. So when I think about love and just the overall um, how we've encouraged people to chase it, it's almost like chasing a fantasy. It's
Hmm.
chasing a fantasy to the point where I would almost wonder if that's maybe part of the reason why the divorce rate is so high, because we go into it with this love fantasy, um, and we only are thinking about the feeling aspect of it. We don't go into it embracing the duty and responsibility that comes along with it, and then what ends up happening? Oh, this isn't what I thought it would be, or I'm just not happy, or it's just, and it's just, oh yeah, y'all, you loved them, I thought, you know what I mean? You loved her, I thought, but then You know what I mean? So what really is it? Is it something that should be guiding us? I guess maybe that's the better question. Is love something that should be guiding us? And then we can kind of back into the question of, is love destroying us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Um, yeah, and to your point where you were talking about love makes people do things, makes people irrational. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that because sometimes people look at love and correlate it with ownership. And then it becomes this whole thing of when someone doesn't want someone anymore, or when somebody doesn't want something, they're just like, no, like they get crazy because they
Mm-hmm.
love the person, or they say they love the person. Or if, someone, I don't know, cheats, and like now, they want to kill everybody that's involved because, in the name, like, I loved you, or, you know what I mean? Or when somebody does something wrong, they think that love is enough sometimes. And I just think that wisdom, discernment, all of that is needed
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about emotions and stuff. I wonder if you can stop loving someone. What are some of the ways that what are some of the ways that you do that, like, because I feel like it's one thing, like, because love, I feel like, just comes on sometimes, or emotions, all that just comes, like, so when you just stop loving someone, it's just like, well, how do you just do that, or how does that even, what does the process even look like? Because I don't feel like it just happens, or does it just happen?
As far as just, I don't love you no more.
Yeah.
Well, I think I would go back to the point that y'all are making. Like, because love is a deeper affection, the deeper the affection, the harder it is to climb out of that hole, right?
Hmm.
So it's definitely going to be harder than a like, because it's a more intense version of like, in my opinion. Uh, but I just feel that the easiest way to maybe make those decisions is to just approach it from more of a logical standpoint, a more rational standpoint. When you
Yeah.
approach it from that, then it kind of allows you to say, hey, this isn't good for me. When I approach it logically, it allows me to say, hey, this cheesecake is not good for me. If I just follow love, then I'm just going to eat the cheesecake. But if I
Right.
bring in some logic into it, then it's like, okay, hold on. Let me figure out how to make the best decisions. That's kind of how I see it. So the love, like, literally, think of, I'll ask a question. What area of our lives that when we incorporate love into it, do we make better decisions?
When you love yourself.
What does that mean? And I'll
Oh,
argue, and I'll argue, and I'll argue that's, I'm gonna call BS. And why I'm gonna call BS is because I think that when you love yourself, you don't change in a lot of ways. You won't change,
why you say that?
because there's a lot of people that love themselves. And because they love themselves, they don't make necessary changes. They don't look at themselves in the mirror. The same way that you love your boyfriend so much, Kamari, that you allow him to get away with this, to get away with that, to get away with this, more than if you did not love him as much. We do the same thing for ourselves. All right, we love ourselves so much. So it's like, oh, I'm good just how I am. I'm popping how I am. I love
Hmm.
myself. Now, on the contrary, when we start to dislike certain things about ourselves, or even hate certain things about ourselves, then to me, that's when people start to make a lot of those changes. Just my opinion.
Right. So I think when you are really learning to love yourself, or practicing, I don't even know if practicing is the right word, but when you're really learning to love yourself, there's levels of accountability that come with that. There's because when you love somebody, right, you you want them to be better, so you tell them, you show them, or you give them examples of what you want them to do. But I think with yourself, you hold yourself accountable, like how I said, if you get over people pleasing, or if you get over addiction, if you get over um, anything that maybe I don't know, whatever you feel like you've overcome, you can say, okay, because I learned to love myself, I was able to make the right choices. So again, I think it's just, if you look at the core definition, oh, I just like myself a lot. But if you look at it maybe from like a different angle or from a different point of view, it's like, okay, I have this deep relationship with myself. And because I love myself, I'll protect myself. Because I love myself, I'll do healthy things for myself. And because I love myself, I will choose to react differently. So I think those decisions and those actions can come forth from a loving relationship between you and yourself. I don't necessarily just look at it as like, oh, I love myself just because, like there's things that I think you go through with yourself that kind of get you to that space.
Yeah, I guess it goes back
That was
to
slow
which
burn.
my fault.
No, okay.
I guess it goes back to which you identify more, the love aspect, like the duty and responsibility of love, or the feelings and affections of love. And in my opinion, we identify it more with the feelings and affections of love. So that's just kind of how I see it going into certain things. Like, what does love cause you to do? It causes you to rationalize something that you like a lot. Like, it literally has you rationalizing something that you like a lot. You love that TV show. Well, I could stay up, and just watch a little TV. I deserve to watch a little TV. You're rationalizing certain stuff based off of your feelings on something, rather than being led by duty and responsibility. You're being led by feelings, which obviously go all over the place. Your feelings can go all over the place. However, the duty that you have, the commitment that you have to something, that's where things go to another level. And where I identify duty is going back to that topic that we were discussing, as far as, or I'm not even sure if you and I were discussing it, but whether you would rather be loved or needed.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't, and to be totally honest, I think humans in general, I'm going to definitely say for men, when it's usually the question asked of, would you rather be loved or would you rather be respected? Men want to be respected. Women yearn to be loved, in my opinion. But when it comes to the needed, then I think we all have to have this feeling of need. And that, to me, when you're needed for a particular duty or responsibility, that's what helps you make healthier decisions overall. Just my opinion.
I think everybody wants to feel needed too. I think everybody wants to feel needed because obviously you want to be giving in your situation. But I think sometimes the fear with that, or maybe not the fear, but the thing with that is that if you don't need me for this particular thing anymore, or if you don't find use, yeah, for me, then like what? Then what happens when you don't need me? What happens when you feel like you're good? You know what I
That's
mean?
not a that's not a good relationship. Then the relationship suffers. But that's the same thing. But see, the
But you don't
need,
think our needs change?
but our needs, you tell me, which changes more, our needs or our feelings? Which would you say changes more? To me, I would say that our feelings change more than our needs. If we're,
Okay.
and that's the, and see, the issue is, I guess it ends up going back to, when it comes to relationships and the need aspect, is to the roles. Because
Hmm.
when you don't have identified roles, or even in a family, if there's not an identified role, then you don't know what your need is. You don't know what your purpose is. I don't know why I'm here. But when you can associate a need from a family aspect, from a relationship aspect, from a team aspect, then it raises the standard. Just like being on a sports team. If I don't know my role, then I don't really know what you need me to do. It's hard for me to prepare for that. It's hard for me to game plan and strategize for that. It's hard for me to even commit to anything because I don't even know where I'm needed. Like, where am I needed here? It's like somebody running into a game, not sure, like, yo, what's my role? What's my responsibility? So when you don't have, in my opinion, going back to your question, your needs will fluctuate a lot less than your feelings.
Hmm. No, I can agree to that. I think also too, some people just act, just do. You know what I mean? Like you just get in where you fit in, and sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work. And I think again, like using wisdom and discernment and having the right conversations, like can really lead to that. Because when you think about roles, some people, I think roles should always come with strengths and weaknesses. Where are you strong? Where are you not that strong? Where can you be better? And work it out like that versus um, just like you need to do this and only do this, and you need to do this and only do that. So I think when it comes to roles, just being specific in that, and then everybody can operate accordingly. If that makes sense.
I think I'm following you. I think I'm following you. I
Hmm.
guess, and it's easier for us to, I guess, identify exactly what type of situation we're referring to, and then put ourselves in that position. So if we say like, okay, we're looking at relationships, or we're looking at being on the job, or all these different areas, where does the need come in, and where does the love aspect come in?
Hmm.
And what did we talk about yesterday when we were talking about the people with the jobs? You know, I was making the point that people literally get up every day and do so. Oh,
Go to the
yeah,
jobs they hate.
yeah, doing jobs that we hate. So it's yeah, I don't
The
the
chat is
duty.
going crazy. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to keep. Let me get to the chat because I'm trying to keep up with the chat. All right, let's go back to Anthony. Anthony
Okay.
said maybe the overuse of describing things and people we love is just like the overuse of GOAT in sports. Agreed.
Mhm.
Miss Shirley wrote, okay, folks like their friends and spend more quality time with me. Like their friends and spend more quality time with me. Then there's love. Then there's I love my family, parents, etc. But you always have an excuse about spending time together. You know they're there. I get what you're saying. So even though you may not spend time with somebody as much, you could still love them, but you spend a lot of time with the people that you like your friends and stuff. Is that what you're saying, Miss Shirley? A double-edged sword. Folks do bad things to themselves and feel they love themselves. Love is a dangerous pendulum. Agreed. Agreed. Motivated by goals, not feelings. Best G. Y'all know what it is. We not
Queen of
motivated.
the
See, when
day.
you have goals, then duty and responsibility comes along with that. The need to do something in order to accomplish this particular goal.
Well,
That's what you're sitting in. That's what you're being driven in.
so
When feelings is in the driver's seat, it's a totally different. You don't know what you. Oh, we're gonna do this today. We're gonna do that today. There's no purpose aligned with it. There's no outcome. There's no desired outcome that you can expect to have that's purpose driven if you're only driven by feelings.
yeah, no, I agree because when you have certain goals, like you can't put love first. No,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Miss Shirley wrote, "Respect leads to love." We got a legend in the building. Shout out my brother G Mitch. G Mitch tapping in. My brother, good to see you. OG
Good.
Live. All right, Pops wrote, you can't love yourself until you know who you are. Plus, you have to know what love is and what it looks like. I'm going to keep it on me. I'm learning what love looks like now at 64 years old.
Hmm.
Damn. Yo, nah, we can't be doing that. We can't be
But
still,
here's the
nah.
thing. But here's the thing. People. So when it comes to love, and like I think what Anthony was saying, like the overuse of it, right? You have a toxic ass mom, and they're just like, I love you, son, I love you, mom, I love you, daughter, I love you. You have a toxic parent, and they just, I love you. Or people say, I whoop your ass because I love you, or I beat you because I love you, I reprimand you because I love you. So your view or your understanding of love is one way. Then you have somebody who may, you have romantically, and they're like, I love you so much, I love you so much. They don't do you right, but they love you so much. Or you may have friends who say, I love you, bro, and you can't even say it back. So it's one of those things where there's like a heaviness on it and like overuse of it, like you were saying, to the point where like we don't know what it is at its purity, or we just don't look at it. It's not the same all across the board. So because it's not the same all across the board, it's not the same feelings, it's not the same actions all across the board, that yeah, you can be 64 and be like, wow, I've never experienced a healthy love. Maybe I've experienced an intense like, if we're going based off of the actual definition, I've experienced intense like many times before, but this one is really healthy. So now this is maybe like a higher understanding or a higher version of love. So now this is really love because this is super healthy. This is super good for me. Before it may have not been that, but there was love still there. So
I
I
think.
think I can
Oh,
understand.
my fault. My fault. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I think I can understand it from that point.
My, I think even the fact like that we're sitting here, everybody got different definition of love, different definition. There's not like when I throw out words like duty, responsibility, purpose, we're all gonna pretty much agree on those definitions. Like those are very clear, straightforward, and direct. But when you throw out love, because of how society has indoctrinated us to thinking love is this and making it so much more than what it actually is, then it's based on actual how we feel about it. We can define love just based on, how we feel about it. Everybody's definition of love is different. Everybody's definition of responsibility is not as, to me, it's clear. You know what I mean? You may not like it, but it's very clear. When it comes to purpose, it's very clear. When it comes to duty, it's very clear. Literally, when we talk about love, it's all over the place. The spectrum is so, you know what I mean? It's such a huge
Very
spectrum.
wide, yeah.
And to me, that's what causes a lot of the confusion. That's what causes a lot of the problems because there's so much freedom with the term, it allows us to use it however we want to use it at the time to justify whatever it is we're looking to justify. Rather than just be aligned with, okay, when we say like needs, and hold on, let me make sure that I'm going back to everybody's. I know G wrote that both needs and feelings will change, but I agree feelings change more than needs. And I'm looking at needs like as a relationship. The need for, let's look at a relationship, a family, a home, right? Mm-hmm. Kamari's married and she got 2 kids. The need for your husband to protect you, that's never going anywhere. That need will always be there. It may intensify or, decrease at different times based on where you are in different situations, but that overall need is always going to be there. And I'm sure that your husband will feel that need until the day that he's no longer here. You know what I mean? Like that need will always be there. That need, when you have clear roles, that need is always going to be that need for the lineman to block for the quarterback. That's always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. Why? Because that's their role. That's their responsibility. So when the needs are associated with roles, with duty and responsibility, they tend not to fluctuate and change as if we're basing a need off of feelings and emotions. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, no, I get it. I think that again, in order for us to be honest about it not destroying us, or if we were, I think we all agree that it can destroy us. So we kind of answered the question. But it's really about
No, that's not the question.
what?
The question is not, can it destroy us? It's, is it destroying us currently? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Well, is
We
love
know
destroying?
it can, but can't, whatever. But is it actively doing it right now?
So if we look at it in what areas, we would have to break it down to like what areas is it destroying us? Then I say yes or no, yes or no.
Let's throw some out there. Y'all throw some areas on the chat. Some areas, obviously, the one that we're talking about, relationships. I think love is definitely destroying us. What do you think?
I guess from my point of view, like looking at it, I think love does destroy certain people, but also I think the people that how do I say this, make smart decisions in love, I think, come out on top.
I actually just thought about something as I'm reading Yeah, Pops, hold on. Let me make sure that I get everybody. I skipped out Miss Shirley. Miss Shirley wrote Anthony Vargas, being an older person and just learn the meaning of GOAT. You are correct. Similar to the use of queen for every female. Bez
That's
G.
why,
Bez, you still in the building?
that's why he be lying when he says it.
Yo, Bez.
No.
Bez is not with calling everybody queens and stuff like that and calling everybody kings. At least when we had a conversation, and we just talk about this?
Yes.
Yeah, we literally just talked about this, but it's all right. So do you call somebody, question for the group? Is it better to call everybody, hey, queen, hey, king, or is it better to call you like, because you're giving them a name to project something that you hope that they turn into, something that you hope that they see the potential that they have in themselves and can carry out and fulfill that potential. So you calling somebody, hey, king, hey, queen.
Well, I feel like,
Go ahead.
oh no, when people say it, like, so it depends who you're talking to, right? So if you're walking down the street and you're like, hey queen or hey king, whatever, like then you're just saying it. It's almost like, how you doing? You're not really trying to figure out how they doing. You don't really know if this person is a king or queen or whatever. But I think if you want to be like intentional about what you're doing all the time, then yeah, you might want to be like, she's not a queen, so let me not say that. Or you might be on some, she needs to feel like she's a queen. But how do you know that she don't feel like it? Unless you know this person and maybe you know their actions. I think it's just too much. If that's just how you say hello, then that's just how you say hello. Then just do it like that. But I don't think you need to read that deep into it.
All right, so let's dig a little deeper, just cause. If you have an issue with that, and Miss Shirley, you can please chime in on this as well. What about parents telling their kids that their daughters maybe, oh, you're the most beautiful, you're the prettiest girl in the world?
It's like one of those, hey, how you doing? It's like, or you may not even think that, but like to build confidence, or not even to build confidence, it's just a thing people say. Like, you are just so cute. You are just so pretty. Oh, you are so adorable. Now, there's some people who be like, all babies are beautiful. And some people are like, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I
But
ain't talking
I
about
think
babies.
just saying, like Medea was like, "Oh, those some nice shoes." Like she said that about a baby, but like I think that it's just one of those things where some people just say stuff, like, you know, and that could be something. But I also feel like you don't want to raise your kid to be like, "Oh, you're mediocre. You are just mediocre." So don't even like. What do you like? No.
Yeah. You got an ugly baby. Nah, let me say. I'm just joking. Pops wrote, I believe that feeling and needs are totally different from love because true love is unconditional, no matter how you feel and what someone needs. That's my belief. But is love really unconditional? And does putting the word true in front of it change that? Love, literally, us feeling that love is unconditional, perhaps that's why we're convincing ourselves to be led by love rather than to be led by all of these other things that we name: duty, responsibility, all these other areas. So when we say that love is unconditional, when I go back to this definition, an intense feeling of deep affection, that doesn't seem unconditional to me.
Well,
True
again,
love, when you love the cheesecake that you're talking about, I don't, I mean, I don't think that that's unconditional. That's based on, if it was unconditional, then you would just eat it whenever you know what I'm saying? But because based on the conditions of it being unhealthy, then you don't indulge in it. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, again, if we're going by the technical reason, I mean, not reason, definition, if we're going by the technical definition, that would be right. Again, I think people look at love differently, or it's something in us for it to be way deeper than it actually it is.
Does it benefit us? All right, so this is the question then. Which definition of it does it benefit us to embrace?
I think if you're just trying to not have a clouded judgment and just be super laser focused, then yeah, you would say, let me just go with the safer option. The safer option is to just say, I just like this a lot. I just like this a lot. It ain't even that deep. It ain't, but the feelings or whatever, all of that other shit is, that is so intense that like that's not something you can really just control like that. But if I just militantly like just, oh, I just like this a lot. I just really like cheesecake a lot, and I can unlike things easier than I can unlove them. So yeah, if I stick to strictly the definition, then yeah, it would benefit me to do that, because then I can move on a lot faster. I can be a little more cutthroat when it's time to just be like, yeah, this ain't working for me, or you know what I mean? Obviously, yeah, that's a safer option.
Hold up, Miss Shirley. Hold up. Is that, hold up? I know you said your phone was giving you some issues.
You said it's working now.
So Mara, calling me queen is like calling me an itch. Does that mean, is there supposed to be another letter?
Yeah.
So calling me a queen is like calling me a B.
Yes.
Every woman is not a queen, etc. Don't put me in that category. Damn.
Especially when y'all out here throwing it. Yeah, if you're out here throwing it around like how you do Grand Rising, then yeah, it's like now, like it's the same thing.
But what makes it throwing around?
Y'all. It's like a y'all. It's like how I be like, stop saying y'all.
That doesn't trigger me, and I'm gonna address it. Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's you. Whatever. If yeah.
But what makes it throwing? What makes it throwing around? You just said it's the same way that you throw around Grand Rising. What makes me throw around Grand Rising rather than being intentional in what I'm saying and not wanting to just say morning? So I say,
so well, okay, let me not say that then. If you are being intentional in your use of it, right? So I feel like, again, like if you just like, good morning, queen, and you're not really putting thought into it, then yeah, she's probably like, don't put me on the same level.
But why would that be negative? Like, why would it be negative? Why would my regular greeting, instead of saying what up, let's say, instead of using the N word, switching it up, calling somebody, like, is that worse, or is that?
No, I don't think it's worse. I just think that if we go back to the same reason why I guess Jarrell says he doesn't say it to everybody, if you want to be intentional with the use of it, then yeah, everybody ain't that. So don't just throw it around. You know what I mean? What he say?
Bez wrote, yeah, folks only say hey, king or queen to black people. Why not say hey, king or queen to white, Asian, or Latino folk?
They're saying it now.
Bez is trolling. I'm gonna tell you why he's trolling. You're talking about when you say folks, you're talking about black people only say it to black people. And that's I'm gonna say why you trolling, because we got my man G Mitch in the building, and everybody knows how I feel about my brother G. G's a king out here. I don't know what you talking about, but I get what you're saying, Bez. But you say it to who you speak to. Most black people tend to mostly speak to black people. They tend to engage with black people. Most white people tend to engage with white people. Like when you think about who you engage with throughout the day, to where you say what's up or say all these different things, it may be shitty, but it just is what it is. Like that's most of the interactions.
So I feel like because it's a popular saying in our in our community, I guess you want to say, then that's why I think, why don't we say it to everybody? But I think also too, again, that's us attempting to raise our vibration to be a better people. So it is with intention when we do say it. I think when people say it, their intention is to uplift the community or uplift one another. So that's why we're saying it. And this is why we don't really need to uplift everybody else. They got it together already. So this is how we uplift one another, by calling each other king and queen. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why it's more of a black thing on our end.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like we hear it said in other cultures. Other people say that to their friends. Because now it's just like a fun thing, like, hey, queen. Like, it's just like, it's
instead of saying hey bet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, so people are saying that now because it is also popular to uplift your woman, or sometimes it is positive when people say hey sis, but when you're in an argument and somebody's like sis, it's like, I'm not your sis, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like people just doing what's popular and just using it in different ways.
All right, so let's catch up on the chat a little bit. Bez wrote, love is conditional, in my opinion. Most parents may have unconditional love, but with partners, it's rare. I agree. I'll even say most parents got, the love is conditional. I say even most kids with parents, the love is conditional, based on how I'm feeling about you at the time. We can sit here and say, I love my kids. Okay, you love your kids. You do any and everything to make sure that you're putting them in the best position to be successful. You love your kids, right? You love your kids so much that you're willing to not get a divorce and to not break up that home because it's more conducive to that kid having a more positive and life that they can flourish in. You love your kid that much to the point where you're willing to work through the problems and not just sit here and say, oh, well, it's better for the kid for us to break up because this home is just so toxic. It's just getting beyond repair. Or do you love your kid enough to actually repair? Do you love your kid to actually make? So all of this stuff is conditional. All of this love stuff, we could throw it out there. We could say true love this, true. It's all conditional. All this stuff is based on conditions. And I'm not even saying that it shouldn't be. I'm not even saying that it shouldn't be. If you're in a relationship and somebody's not fulfilling their role, why would I love you the same? Why would I respect you the same? You're not fulfilling your role. So it is, everything is conditional. Like, let's be real. We not just loving stuff out here. If that cheesecake don't taste as good the next time, I'm not gonna love it as much, right? If it stops tasting as good. So everything is conditional in my opinion.
Preach.
So with the conditions, why I like embracing the conditions is because it's clear. You could have clear roles. You got a clear duty, clear responsibility. I know that this is my role for this play. This is my role. I know that I need to fulfill this. I'm very clear on it. And you know what? If I don't fulfill my role, then there's a problem. That's part of the conditional.
Keep it moving. Nah.
All right, so Bez wrote, that cheesecake you love comes with conditions. It better have the proper ratio. It better not be soggy or warm because then you won't love it. Bez, cam up. Cam up, Bez. My parents were firm on self-respect. You do not need someone to validate you as a person. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Some people learn
unless
that
we talking about your boss.
And sometimes you learn that at this age, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, G Mitch. Vez wrote, not trolling. Someone literally told me they use it for uplifting, and I asked them, well, do you say it to a white girl? She said no. So I said, well, doesn't that person need uplifting as well? They may or may not feel. But let me ask you this: don't you get to choose who you get to uplift? You don't have to uplift everybody. You choose whoever it is that you want to uplift. I'm not trying to uplift all of one group. I'm not trying to uplift all of Black people. I'm trying to uplift people that share the same energy, morals, principles that I'm aligned with. Not trying to save everybody, not trying to help everybody. I'm not built to help everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm helping my village, help serving my people for, you know what I mean? And when I say my people, it's funny. I was talking to the rabbi last night and we were having the conversation is, well, what's your people? You know what I mean? What makes something your people? Does your skin color make it your people? Does your religion make it your people? Do your morals make it your people? Does your block that you grow on make it your people? So,
right. Yeah, and I think that when it comes to love and learning based off of our definitions, that changes. Because your tribe is man, I feel like you don't really have an understanding sometimes of how important that is, but also who that should be until sometimes you get a little older. Mm-hmm. Oh, how's the baby?
Queez on daddy duty. We know. We appreciate you tapping in, even though you on daddy duties. That's love.
Yes.
Make sure Malcolm's listening in. We'll keep the cursing to a minimum just because Malcolm's listening. That's Queez's son. Queez wrote, we toss the word love around too much, but do we really mean it when we say I love you? No. In my opinion, I don't think we really.
I be like olive juice. I say like olive juice. Sometimes it's hard to say I love you. You never heard that?
No, then don't say it.
When you just say olive juice real fast, like olive
but
juice.
Just don't say it. You ain't got to say it. Just don't say it.
Yeah,
cool.
It's hard. Some people it's easy. Some people it's hard.
Yeah. So Queez wrote, can you love someone and not respect them? Ooh. Talk to me, OG Ma.
Mm, um, damn. I feel like when you lose respect, okay, if you're losing respect for somebody, it is hard to love them or intensely like them if we go based off of the definition. Because I think if I go off the love that I feel like I've known, then it's like, damn, he doesn't respect me, I don't respect him. But like I have this idea of potential or this expectation of what I wanted it to be. And that's what I love more, or the idea of something more. And so that is what makes me feel like I love this person and respect them. But in all honesty, I really don't.
Mm.
I don't think you can love and respect someone.
Hold up. Let's look up the definition of respect.
RESPECT.
Let's look up the definition of respect. All right, respect means a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others.
So
To
is
admire.
that to be like in love with the actions?
See, when I see the admiration, like it, and the feeling part is throwing me off when it says a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities. Let me actually copy it and put it in the chat so we all can take a look at it, because I feel like I got to read it like a couple more times. Hold on, let me throw it in here. All right, so y'all check that out. A feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. I can get with that. I can get with that. So it's still a feeling. I don't know. Do you associate when you associate respect? Do you associate, or when you think of respect, do you associate it more with actions more so than when we think about love, or is it on the same kind of playing field?
Yeah, because I feel like when you respect someone, obviously they're doing something at like high level energy, is what I'm thinking. Or like they're just doing it consistently, which in a good motion, I'm assuming. When you lose respect for someone, you always think of like they stopped doing this, or they changed up, or something switched, or something turned off. So, or they did something that just was so out of the norm that you lose respect. Because I'm trying to think of the ways like in which I'm like, oh, I don't respect them anymore. Like when they do something out of the norm.
Yes, we got her out of here now. I could just talk. Y'all could just listen to me. I don't gotta hear her perspective. Nah, let me start. We good? Keep going.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, no, I think it is with actions, because it's when somebody does something completely different or out of character or not in the way that they used to do it before. It's kind of like that's what makes you lose respect. And that is, to me, now that is quicker than like love, like unloving. Like if you lose respect for something or they do something completely out the norm, that's easy to kind of be like, whoa, like that's a hard no.
So what's your answer? My fault, because as I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm still going in circles, but I don't know why I was going in circles. I know exactly what my answer is. But what was yours? Can you love someone and not respect them? You said yes, right?
No,
Or
I
you
said
said no.
I said no. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards no.
Yes, you can absolutely love somebody and not respect them.
I don't know. Again, I have to
I
think
mean,
about it.
literally, you think about the relationships. You can see a relationship. A lot of these toxic relationships or whatever else, they be loving. They could come in, be fighting, doing all type of stuff. But do you respect that person? Do you respect that person?
No, but it's
So
also
then you just answered the question.
because then I think, because then in my opinion, again, maybe based off of a different version of what I thought love was in this terms of definition, it's like, is that really love? If you can be that toxic and smacking people around, or like, is that really love? Like,
But it goes back to your point. And see, that's my problem. When you can sit here and ask, well, is that really love? You're basing it on what your definition and
right?
perception of
That's what
love
I
is.
just said.
But what I'm saying is the problem is when we stray away from the actual definition, then we can just base it based on what our feelings are towards love at that time. You get what I'm saying?
I
Like,
understand.
yeah. So it's like you can have. I, I, I mean, I guess we go back to the initial statement. Um, that the respect, men want to be respected. You know what I mean? We want to be respected.
So
And
then,
I guess the love, the way when I was talking to the rabbi yesterday, the way he described it, he said that the love is kind of like the spice that comes along with it. It's not the actual meal. But the meal would be the respect. And then the love is kind of like just the spice. I guess when a man is respected, they feel loved. So I guess it's like which leads, which comes first, the cart of the horse, you know what I mean?
so yeah, so then they need to. So based off of the definition, it would say men need to be doing things that are admirable or make us,
To be respected.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
based
we
off of the
we
definition.
agree with that. Y'all,
Okay.
what we shoot. Invite them into our conversation
Go to
last night.
work.
You
Go
know
to work.
exactly how I'm feeling. I feel that a lot of us don't deserve respect.
Because you're not doing enough.
If you're not earning, like that has to be earned. Like when you look at, even as you look at the definition, a deep admiration for something, for someone or something elicited by the abilities, qualities, or achievements, that's something that's got to be earned.
Right.
Like the love, that's kind of just, neither here nor there. All
Yeah.
right, what did Miss Shirley write? We all open our gifts differently, and when it's time, we will continue to learn until we take our last breath. I agree. Where are we? Shoot, I'm all lost on the chat. My bad. Hold on. Give me a sec. Give me a
Tighten
sec.
up.
Give me
Everybody
a
put
sec.
tighten up in the chat.
All right. Pops wrote, we are put on earth to be an influence to all, whether you believe it or not, good or bad. I mean, that may be the case. That may be the case. But my direct focus when I wake up on a day to day is more so closely aligned with my immediate family. And by taking care of my immediate family and approaching my immediate community a certain way, then that's going to impact everything externally as well. But with the focus being internally. A lot of people go out here. I know a bunch of one in particular, parent, could be an amazing parent to the world, to the overall community, could just be an amazing man. However, when it comes to your kids, you're not a good father. You know what I'm saying? You're not a good mother. You could be the most amazing person to the world, but not necessarily. So my focus is just more so internally. I don't wake up and necessarily feel that I need to be such a influence on outsiders that are not necessarily my community. Maybe that's the overall goal, but my immediate goals are to do that by taking care of my immediate community, my village.
And that's what you feel like. Does that align with your purpose?
That aligns with my purpose, is aligned with God's purpose. You feel me? Like my purpose is something bigger than me. You feel me? So I know what my purpose is and what I'm put here for. I just know what it is, and that's I guess, and it's interesting. It's interesting, and because for me, it's like, is it your purpose? Is it God's purpose? Especially with me, I'm not religious. You know what I mean? So it kind of may be a little bit confusing there, but I do believe it is aligned with God's purpose, overall purpose. What my purpose particularly is. What about you?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, if you feel like, you have a purpose, I mean, whether we want to be influencers or not, we just are, I think sometimes. Like, because you just maybe just doing well in school, you might influence your friend to be like, dang, Dak just got honor roll. Like, I might want to do that too. Like, let me see if I can try that too. And you may have not, you've been getting honor roll just for you to get honor roll, just because that's maybe the standard in your household or your own personal standard. But now you've influenced your friend who doesn't get honor roll just because. So I think sometimes when we think about influence, we look at it more as a choice, when sometimes it's not always a choice. It's just we show up and we have our standards, and then somebody may look at that and be like, dang, okay, well, that worked for them, or that looks good on them, let me try it. So that's what I think about the influence part.
Mm-hmm. Pops wrote, "Love is meeting people right where they are, no matter what the conditions are. For me, true love has no limits. I don't think love has limits. I just think it's based on conditions. I think that, there's no limit. You may not have a limit on how much you like indulging in a particular thing, but it's still, in my opinion, going to be based on the conditions. But yeah, I would agree though that there's no limits. I guess I don't know how we would be able to put a limit on feelings. What you think?
Keep going.
Miss Shirley, what's the saying? Folks come in your life for a season, reason, or lesson. I do come to self-evaluation. Dope, dope, dope. Miss Shirley wrote, respect and love is the bonus, as it is with intimacy, and sex is the bonus. Respect and love is the bonus. Okay, love is the bonus that comes along with respect. Sex is the bonus that comes along with intimacy.
Mm. Ah, yeah. Okay. We'll save that for another show.
Why would you do that? Corny. Why is so corny?
No.
It is what it is. We're good. We're done. We're good. We're good.
Okay, we're good.
Not gonna put you out there. I don't want
No,
you saying
I
this.
agree. I definitely agree. I think sometimes too, man, like when I think about like, sex being like a bonus, it's almost like sometimes people will put that before. Okay, so let me say it that way. Sometimes people will put that before love. And so you could really like that and hate the person. So when you
Some
think
people
about
put
like
what before love?
sex, like good
Oh,
sex,
okay, okay,
right away.
okay.
So I'm thinking that like almost that's where you can um love something or love a part of someone, but not respect them and not like them. And sometimes that's what people really be fighting for. Um, sometimes too. So yeah, like sex
Yeah.
can be really good and terrible person.
Well, all right. I shouldn't have pressured her. Miss Shirley wrote, you take care of your own and the village seeks the rewards too. The village can only help you raise your kids if they respect you enough to ask how they can help you.
Mm.
All right. Karma. Oh, Kamari, you will call me. Call Miss
Right.
Shirley.
Right.
But yeah, it's my overall opinions, it's kind of been all over the place. This conversation has been really good because
Yeah. What you
not
think?
saying that the convo, the show, been I'm just saying like it's been really good for me, just as far as like the mental exercise. It's felt like being like processing different things, figuring out, is it better to look at it from this angle or that, or and it's clear that we all have different definitions of
Mm.
exactly what love is. And based on those definitions, that kind of determines how we'll answer the other questions moving forward from there. Where love for some people is just a feeling like, hey, I really care about this person. It's just a deep affection. And then love for other people could be, more based around duty and responsibility. So it just kind
Right.
of differentiates. So yeah. And then the need aspect.
Yeah.
I don't love me. See, when you need somebody, let's talk about the need. When you need something, that respect is much easy. It's a lot easier to have some respect for something that you need rather than
Mm-hmm.
something that you love. When you love something, like I said with the relationships, you could disrespect people that you love easily.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we'll disrespect people that we love more so than people at our job that we can't stand, in a
Mm-hmm.
place that we can't stand, doing work that we can't stand, for a boss that we can't stand.
Right.
But nobody will disrespect that boss. Why? Because there's a need associated with it. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, that need allows you to just say, hey, I can't, it's not even an option. I can't say what I want to say to my boss. I
Yeah.
can't go in there. I can't even say what I want to say to my colleagues.
Yeah.
So what y'all want? Y'all want needs or y'all want likes? Y'all
Mm-hmm.
want wants?
I don't know. I got to think about it. I think, again, like with this conversation, it makes you think, more so than like, I don't want to have like a definitive answer. Like, I just rather like, huh. I'll ponder on this. We'll have to
Yeah.
make this another part two too, and come back to this.
Yeah, it's something to think about. Because even like I'm thinking about different stuff, like what your pop said, influence and all, a lot of stuff that's there. You may not necessarily be thinking about it or recalling it a certain type of way. But it's still, hopefully gonna, just trigger some good thoughts in our brain to where we can approach things differently. If we're approaching things super one way and maybe need to make some adjustments, then hopefully we can evaluate that and move accordingly. Queez wrote, let's just leave this one up there. We should just leave this up the whole show.
Right. Make that make that on the pink
We should
thing.
leave that up. Good point, Dak. I love it. Anthony wrote, respect. My boy in the building. My guy in the building, not my boy. Kiki. Dang, we missed you, Kiki. I think the ability to receive love is something that's not being talked about enough. You can love someone wholeheartedly, but some people don't even know how to receive it or how to handle it. Yeah. I feel like you tell me, is that something that a lot of guys struggle with? Like to know how to love?
Yeah. I feel like,
Matter of fact,
and also too.
I agree. I think you do struggle with that.
Yeah, I do. And I also think too, again, back to that difference of understanding of what love is. Yeah, like if we say love look like, well, my mom said she fed us every night, and that was love, and that was it. You know what I mean? Then you grow up saying like, oh, I ain't have nobody hug me every morning or kiss me every night or do certain things that would someone and naturally that comes to mind, like when you say, okay, when I love my children, I automatically do all these different things and go to their different games and all that different stuff, where some parents are like, look, I go to work, I keep money in the house, and I put food on the table. That's as far as my love goes. So yeah, I think definitely people don't know how to handle it because we all have this different version of it. Mine may be clingy, somebody else's may be, I give you your space, and that's, I let you do you. You know what I mean? So I think it just depends on, the person. But I definitely struggle with that for sure.
So this may take the convo somewhere else, but y'all just reminded me of something. You take a kid, like babies need love. We all understand that babies need affection. Babies need that type of stuff. But kids, as they get older, need purpose. So even when we look at, is love destroying us? One of the topics that, I was thinking about yesterday, we didn't really get on the subject of mental health. To me, when you focus on love and the feelings, that's what puts a lot of us in compromising mental health positions, in my opinion, and more so not with the love, but more so because the lack of duty and responsibility and purpose. So not that the love, it's more so being directed by the love instead of being directed by the other things. When you think about people being depressed, people going through all these mental health things that everybody just throws out there nowadays, it's because you're not needed. You're not needed for something. You don't feel needed. You don't feel that you have a purpose. You don't feel that you have certain responsibilities. It's almost, I've always heard this story of these people were on a trail and they were up in like the snow, got lost, whatever it is, and they were walking back and they had to walk miles. And there was one person like lagging in the back, and it's like, yo, I don't think they're going to make it. Like they're giving up, they're discouraged, they're broken, all these different things. You know what they did with that person in the back? They said, hey, yo, we need you to lead us. Like we're all getting a little bit tired. We need you to lead. You do the next leg of the trip. You're going to lead. You'll be in front. Instantly, that person got an energy boost because now there was a certain need where, of course, his love for himself, you would think like, okay, I don't want to die. I don't want to be stuck out here. Just my love for myself. But it's not as strong as when you associate a need and responsibility and duty with, hey, more of us, we all need y'all. I mean, we all need you to come and lead us. And that person got that boost of energy and was able to lead. So when people are placed in need positions and have a purpose around it, like people need to fight for something. In my opinion, that's why a lot of kids now, you see like the kids riding in Chicago. If a kid doesn't have a purpose, like kids are meant to, like when you hit that 17, 18, 19-year-old range, you have to have a purpose, because if not, you're going to just jump on whatever bandwagon purpose is hot at the time, which is what we see a lot with a lot of these agendas and stuff. We see the younger kids jumping on it. But when we go back to even like the 60s with the civil rights, a lot of those people were young kids, the college kids, the freedom, all of these they were young kids, because kids want to feel purposeful. They want to feel like they're fighting for something, that they're doing something for a cause. And when people don't feel that they have a particular cause or reason or responsibility or duty, then they start to question things, in my opinion.
Right. No, I hear you. I agree. I think sometimes too, when it comes to the mental health aspect, um, sometimes people are so needed in their lives that they become depressed because they're giving, but they don't have any boundaries, or they don't have any, they're just giving. And sometimes you realize that if you don't take a moment and realize if what I'm giving to this person and I'm giving to these people, to my job and all these things, is making me depressed, making me feel terrible, then maybe I'm giving in the wrong way. Maybe it's something that I need to work on, or maybe I need to stop giving in some areas. And so I think, yeah, but when you're needed, or when you feel like you have a purpose, then yeah, it does lift your spirits. It does put you in a better place. But I also think sometimes too, when it comes to depression, a lot of people just are giving of themselves in the wrong way. And so that creates that tension too, which can lead to depression, because it's like, you don't need to be paying everybody's bills or lending money to everybody and you don't have it, or give it. Like, you don't need to be doing that, overextending yourself if you don't have it, or if you're not giving it to yourself. Then sometimes people end up depressed like that because they're overplaying their part.
Overextending themselves. Okay. Yeah. All right, no, I get that. Miss Shirley wrote, we must move away from referring to another human being as your boss. Only the creator is the boss of you. I don't know. That may be ideal, but I'm not sure that's what's happening. I'll ask everybody a question. If the creator is the only boss of us, then who do we think we spend more of our time serving? Our boss at work or the creator? Yeah. But maybe that's the problem. So maybe that is the problem, right, what Miss Shirley is saying. I would say that a boss is a boss. I mean, what would you recommend us calling our boss? What new term would you recommend us calling it that? See, how my mind works is a boss is the boss. That's the title. The issue is I need to figure out a way to be the boss. You know what I'm saying? I need to figure out a way, and everybody's not going to be a boss. A boss is just a position. Everybody's not going to be a boss. Everybody's not going to be a leader. It just is what it is. We just need to make sure that whoever is in that leadership position is guiding us in the right way, is guiding us in a way that's aligned with our purpose rather than something that's leading us astray. That's how I would look at it. Queez wrote, I felt I disrespected my parents at certain points and I love them. Yeah, that's a great example. Same. A great example. I think we all did that. Anthony wrote, especially if you haven't experienced it before, Kiki, regarding Kiki's comment. Miss Shirley wrote, men and women both struggle based on their background. My fault. I'm so behind. I'm like 5 minutes behind. Let me try to catch up real quick. G wrote, this has been a great conversation. I've gone back and forth on my opinion of multiple points. Thanks for making me think. That's all it is. Shout out to Dane Calloway. That's his slogan. I'm just here to make you think. But yeah, that's all it is. Shoot. We're gonna just work through some combos. Ant wrote, I think it's a mix of both necessity versus desire. Example, you doing what is necessary for your kids makes you a good father. Wanting to do more than what's just necessary makes you a good dad. Okay. Throwing the little word play out there. All right. Miss Shirley wrote, it works for me. Mari, you worked for me before and know how I am. Don't give anyone power over you. Oh, but aren't you?
Miss, well, I think Miss Shirley is
If
different.
I'm your boss, I got power over you. So don't come shoot.
But I think if you look at it from a money aspect, but from again, with that respect thing, you can work for somebody and like they respect you. And like, that's just like, hey, well, I have my master's and you don't. That may be the only the only reason why I am your manager or boss or whatever. Or it may be I just took an extra course and that's why I'm more qualified. But I think when it comes to money, yeah, you look at it like that because it's like this person is paying you. So if without this you could do well, then yeah, you do have that air because you're like, I don't really need this. So more people just don't because it's just a safer option to work. But I think we all have the capacity to say, yeah, if I wanted to create this idea and really go hard at it, I think a lot of people have the capacity to do it and even do well. But it's just it separates the people who are the doers and the workers. Some people just like, listen, I'd rather just type at this computer all day, get my check every Friday or every other Friday, and keep it moving. I think it's just a matter of like how you look at it. If you look at it like that, then you're like, I don't give a damn what I call him or who he is.
Yeah, like I said, I think it sounds good. It sounds good, but let's be realistic. Your boss does have power over you. Your boss did not force you to apply to be a part of their company, to be a part of their team. You did that, and the power that they have over you is the exchange in value. I'm receiving a certain value, probably money, and because I'm giving something of value in my whatever my work and my responsibilities are. So it's just an exchange. But I mean, I guess depending on how you look at it, I guess you could look at it however you want. But I don't know. You work for me. I got power over you. Stop playing. Stop playing with
but
me,
see,
man.
it's all in how you word it. Because if you was talking like that, you'd be working by yourself.
No, why? People want to work for. See, that's the misconception. Everybody don't want to be a boss. The majority of people don't want to be a boss. The majority, that shit just sounds good. It looks appealing on Instagram. It looks cool on YouTube. The lifestyle that comes along with it. It's like my coach used to tell me that there's certain people that like football and there's other people that like being football players. They like everything that comes along with it, but they don't actually like football. You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. People like the lifestyle that they believe comes along with being a quote unquote boss because we only focus on the positive aspects. But most people don't have the courage, the discipline, the tenacity, the consistency, focus, all these different things. Most people don't want to be bosses. Let's keep it real. You want to go to your job, be respected on your job, do your thing, have a cool time, get your check at the end of the week and go home. You don't want the responsibilities that come along with if the company fails, that means all these people lose their job. If the company fails, I don't get paid. Most people have the 9-to-5 mindset to where they're cool and comfortable to where they don't have to be in a performance-based business. Because when you're a boss, everything is performance-based. It's sales, it's commission, it's eat what you kill, rather than the 9-to-5 mindset that most people embrace because it's the safer choice. Ant wrote, I think for a business to run, everyone has to play their part. A chain of command only works if leaders are given the space to lead. I agree. A good boss won't make you feel like you're being run over. A good boss should be a good leader. I agree. Miss Shirley wrote, my father left Georgia because he didn't want a sharecrop and come here with a 6th grade education to own his own house and business. Yeah. So your dad decided to become his own boss. So that's perfectly fine. Like, I think that's what you should do. If you don't like having a boss, then open up your own business, take the risk, put the bread up that comes with being an entrepreneur, and you could be your own boss. And that just showed you. So your example, Miss Shirley, actually demonstrates another point, which is if people really want to be bosses, then they can become bosses. Because you just said that your dad left Georgia because he didn't want to be a sharecropper and came here with a 6th grade education to own his own house and business. He made that decision. Nowadays, we don't even want to move to the next town. But based on necessity, but based on duty and responsibility, your dad got up from Georgia, came all the way. I'm assuming he came up here and created his own house and business. So if more people really wanted to become bosses, then more people would. But the truth of the matter is, most people don't. Most people want a boss. Most people want leadership. Most people want guidance. Most people want somebody to tell them what to do rather than them have to figure it out on their own. It's just reality. Facts. Your father has a boss mentality. Miss Shirley wrote, everyone can't be a boss. As Mari said, there are leaders and non-leaders. Jack, you threw perfect word respect. I'm not sure what that meant.
Well, you were talking, but yeah, I think there are leaders and there's non-leaders, and there's, again, when you respect your boss or who's paying you or whatever, like similar to what like Anthony was saying, when you can lead a team in the right direction and not run everybody over, it's a respect thing. If you can respect,
I get what you said. Yeah,
you don't look at it like that.
Yeah, I was reading it. As I was reading it, I was processing it totally different in my mind. I just couldn't. I get exactly what you mean. Yeah, I get exactly what you mean. It's let more respect. Love is irrelevant. More duty, more responsibility, and more need. Let more, tell you to follow love.
The love,
if you want. Follow the love, but she's supposed to feel like that. You're supposed to feel like that. And that's an example of exactly why we have different roles. There's nothing that I can tell you logically to get you off of yearning for love. As a woman, you're always there's nothing that I can say. I can make everything make sense here. And I'm still going for love, all that. But the fellas is different. And that's why different roles are necessary. Because if you're only focused on love, then you need somebody that's going to be focused on the other stuff, the duty, the responsibility, and all that stuff. So that's why we make the perfect, match, where there's nothing wrong with having roles and different duties based on what's more natural to you. You feel me? Because it's more natural for you to live in that love space. It's more natural maybe for a guy to live in a space of duty and responsibility and respect. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, tell these kings to get to work.
Now she want to take, she is biting on me so hard. She's trying to, I talk to her all day, every day about so yesterday I was talking about how men need to be qualifying for respect, that most men don't qualify for the things that they're asking for. And I said, most women don't qualify for the things that they're asking for. And here go Kamari. Qualify? You're making it seem like men are under women. I said, both men and women don't qualify for what it is that we're asking for. So I'm big on the qualifications, taking care of your purpose, your duty, bringing that to the table, and then you can expect it to be matched in return.
Yeah.
Kiki wrote, that's so true. I never saw myself as a boss. I can't handle the welfare of that many people. It's stressful and a lot of pressure. Yeah. It's all good, Kiki.
But sometimes when you just know yourself and you're like, listen, I'm going to do all that.
Kamari, we're triggering Kamari. You know, Kamari's a she boss. She's a she-yo, so we're triggering.
I got more work to do, though. I got more work to do.
Miss Shirley,
I'm learning. Like, I'm not good at delegating. Shoot, that's one thing I'm learning. Like, I get nervous when you have to like talk to people a certain way, or you have to like reprimand somebody or say, "Hey, you did something wrong." I get anxiety because it's like, ah. So that's a part of me where it's like I gotta learn how to separate like that.
You like all the fuzzy stuff. You don't like all the negative stuff that comes along with it.
Right. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Miss Shirley wrote, I chose not to work for 7 years to stay home with my last 2 daughters. It allowed me to hone into many talents to make my own money, so an employer can't hold a job over my head. I agree. You made a decision to put yourself in that position. You took the power. You grew the power within yourself. Like you empowered yourself to not necessarily need a boss. Now you're your own boss. So 100%. If you don't like a boss, then if you don't want to have a boss, if you don't like it, then do something about it.
Yeah, and I think it's glorified, because people think of the lifestyle. But if you really have threw your shot at this shit, failing fast is an everyday thing. It don't feel so bossy all the time. It don't feel like them pictures. It ain't like I'm sitting on an island while I'm closing my eyes, my phone is going ding 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 ding. Ding. It ain't like that, you know. So I think you learn, and that's why it feels good to say it when you've overcome that hard part of it, or when you get through or learn some things, when you fail fast in business and you learn a lot and you do better. And it's like, okay, I'm a boss because I don't look at it. I'm a boss because I can go to vacation with the money I made. That might be cool, but I'm a boss because I've learned something of value that like I can keep, and that's going to help me maintain and do better and make money. Sustain, I guess, for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Sustain it. Yeah, to sustain it. Come on, Ma, I got you. Throw the oop up, I got you. Yeah, I agree. If you not, but and that's why failing fast is so good. Figure out if it's for you. Don't just be talking shit for your whole life saying, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. Figure it out. It may be something that you excel at, or it may be something that at least makes you say like, hey, that's definitely not for me. So let me get better at where I am rather than complaining because I'm thinking that I could do all this other stuff. So either way, it's going to benefit you.
This lady I was watching, I'm always watching like a TikTok, whatever, but she was saying like, what are you good at versus what do you love? Because sometimes like, what do you love? Like I could love making shea butter, but if I get 50 orders, I don't feel like it. She's like, what comes easy to you? What do you like? Like, what can you do like excessively more so than what do you love? Because again, that's where love is like, I love it. I love doing it. But in high amounts, it's like, that's a lot. Like, sometimes it can be a lot. So more so it's like, what can I just do easily? And when it comes to really creating results, where can I get results?
So once again, I got to go back to my convo with my rabbi. Yesterday, he was telling me, or no, I was actually listening to an old video where he was, oh, dang, I just lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens. Come on, what were you just saying? Say the last thing you
about,
say what you just said. Say it again.
I'm saying about the love, like, instead of loving what you do, something that
yeah. All right, so it was just talking about how a lot of times we're thrown signs like that we're good at certain stuff. So figure out a way to use that, the certain things that we all have unique gifts, and talents. Let's figure out a way to use those and really lean into those. So that's just, so sometimes we're given certain stuff that even though we may just say, oh, no, I want to do that. Maybe just take a second to just evaluate what actually am I good at? What is something where, like people always say like, oh, they're just naturally good at this. You know what I mean? What are some of those things? They may be certain stuff that you don't want to lean into, but that's cool. Be clear, get it out of your brain. So now you can focus on something else. We got a couple, hold on. What did Ant wrote? Yeah, Kiki, that's showing an awareness of self is to be applauded. A lot of people lack awareness and it gets the whole team in hot water. That's a fact. Yo, it goes back to one of the greatest lines. And I got it. Hold up. Can I pull this up? I'm going to pull it up on the next show. When Cam said, half these brothers want to be the man just cuz.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be the man just cuz. And you can't just cuz be a leader, because when the rocky stuff comes in, the obstacles and all this other stuff, the heat is on, you're going to break, you're going to fold because you know that you're really not built for that. All right, let's see. Ant wrote, Kamari, put the system in place where you can focus on doing what you want with the butter and let the system take care of the production.
Yeah.
Now
there's ways around it. You just got to be willing to do it. Yeah.
And yeah, let me put this because Kamari had the little side face. You spelled my name wrong. Look at her. She did. That's why she knew exactly what I was talking about.
I knew what you mean. I don't be pressed about it because I know.
So neat, in the chat, real quick, just write need or loved. What you leaning into? Need or love? I'm going first.
We know.
I should have wrote it from my personal one. I got a lock.
Um,
Need for me, baby. Mar, what you going with?
I'm
Go with
having.
love, yo. Go with love.
I'm always gonna go with love.
Go with love. And love, what's funny is love is a need for you.
Yeah, it is.
Love is
We
a need for
need
you.
love. We need.
Oh, Aunt, don't do that. Oh, no. Aunt leaning into the love. No. Kiki, love, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's what, yeah, is that being sexist? That's not being sexist, right?
What?
I just think that we're different. I love seeing women more so lean into the love, and Aunt leaning into the need. I already know Aunt is on his purpose. Like, all right, yeah, whatever. Let me not try to. I'm over here trying to change his answer. Like, I'm trying to change his. All right, Miss Shirley wrote. Miss Shirley wrote, when I was a child, that's not what you think, Aunt. Like, I don't know. That's not what you think. Miss Shirley wrote, when I was a child and a younger woman, I was an extremely introverted person. The struggle was real to nurture myself and not listen to the ridicule and disrespect folks showed me. Introvert versus extrovert. Yeah. That's
What are you?
I'm an extroverted introvert, where I'm an introvert, but when I need to be extroverted, like I can shine there as well. But to me, it's just I'm more calm when I'm by myself and just more like I never really like crowds. But I think a lot of people may not feel that way. A lot of people may say you're an extrovert, even like doing videos and stuff like this. I really don't. Not that I necessarily like. Huh?
I think you can do it by yourself.
Yeah, like I lock in, be on here by myself, just talking to y'all, acting like I'm having a whole convo. But no, it's not even that. I'm a natural introvert, but I still look at this like with you doing something that's still introverted, because it's like, you know what I mean? You're in my circle, you know what I mean? So, right. But with extroverted, I got to get my mind right. I'll be in the car before a networking event, like, yo, I don't feel like going in here. Let me switch my mindset. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna meet some great people, have some great connections. I have to actively switch my mind, and then I could do that. However, you know what's so funny? This is how I know I'm an introvert, because when I'm in extroverted situations, I come home drained. Like my brain hurts, my body is sore. Like how my body's usually sore after the gym, my brain will be sore, because it's like I'm tapping into a different person. You know what I mean, or a different version of myself, to be an extrovert rather than to just be an introvert.
I think this lady Jamie, she taught me. What was the other name for it? Where like, for the most part, I'm an introvert, but what was it? Gosh, I gotta ask her again. It was something like when you're comfortable, you're an extrovert. Like some people will meet me and be like, "Oh, I thought you were mean," or you're quiet or whatever, and then you meet me and it's like, not quiet at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you very similar.
Yeah.
You very similar. Because like even you and I, how you probably perceive me is like, yo, he could just talk. Like we be on the phone. You know what I mean? But literally, that's only with the people that I value talking to.
Right.
If I don't feel like, I don't really want to talk.
But I've also seen you be like super quiet though.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't see that though.
I can be like bored, like okay.
Nah, a lot of people don't see that side of me where it's like, yo, I don't want to talk to like I just don't feel like being like engaging. I don't feel like being engaging, but neither here nor there. All right, so Kiki kicking my back in. She's saying Anthony speaking the truth. LOL, let him think freely. I changed it up. And because Ant wrote, I think true love will provide the need. He over here pandering to these women. Now, let me stop. Nah, Ant, I get what you're saying. All joking aside, I get what you're saying. It's some sucker shit, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Miss Shirley wrote my.
You can't help yourself. He can't help himself.
Miss Shirley wrote, my childhood was before the Civil Rights Act in 1964. Okay, Miss Shirley, you still a pretty young thing. And yes, respectfully. But dang. See, and that goes. All right, so real quick, this is gonna get off topic. But Miss Shirley, in a positive way. Miss Shirley's childhood was before the Civil Rights Act in 1964. This is what I mean when I say we need family counsel, like from the other show. We need to be having somebody like you, Miss Shirley, speaking to the kids in the community, we need to be able to tap into your knowledge, like on a regular basis. There's no reason, Miss Shirley, why you shouldn't have your own show on the network to where you can talk about different lessons, life lessons that you've learned throughout, because you have a lot of this experience. So that's very valuable, huh?
I want to do a segment, not to cut you off, just like little things around the house as a woman, like how to fold a fitted sheet. I have watched YouTube
you've been
videos.
On this for like 5 years, bro.
I cannot do it. I've watched YouTube videos.
Oh, just throw it in the closet. That's how you fold it. Just toss it in the closet.
Angela's going to teach me today. Angela's here. She's going to teach me. Because I'm telling you, it is something that I have watched videos on.
You just want the perfect fold? You want it to fold?
I need to conquer this. Or even just like...
And she talking about me going off on a tangent.
Different levels of doing laundry, sewing things, like all those things. Like my grandmother would be able to sew my grandfather's sock. I don't know how to do none of that. Just little things like that. I feel like I want to learn. And I feel like that is valuable.
Let's go, Queez. I knew my boy, I knew my brother Queez would come through.
He found someone.
I think for a man to be needed in his family is to be loved. The need leads. Love comes. Like the love is a man has to be needed. We got to be needed. If we don't feel needed.
All right, well, let me get my list ready.
Like, if we don't feel needed, come on, Mari, what do you need? What do you need from me?
Money,
you feel me? Keep it real. And you just was keeping it real. You need some money and protection, right? All right. So then put it out there.
What did Miss Shirley just say? Look at her next comment.
Hold up. Let me go down. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me get through these real quick. My fault. Thank you, Kiki and Iceberg. I share that same sentiment. Queez wrote, I'm an introvert that forces himself to be an extrovert. Facts, yo. I know Queez is that. Queez is that too. Oh, shoot. Miss Shirley wrote, my generation would go with the need and love comes later. Is that what you're talking about, or another one?
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Yeah. My generation will go with the need.
No.
Right, so let me keep going. Ant wrote, I think an introvert can be charismatic. Just because I'm working the room well does not mean it's work and exhausting. Yeah, it may not. It's for different people. Some people find different things exhausting or not.
Like what do they call it? Dang, I'm forgetting everything. Your social battery. Yeah, ambivert. So that's what I am. I'm an ambivert. But like my social battery, sometimes it'll like, and then I gotta go.
Yeah, I've definitely been in situations like that. Especially, I'm thinking most of my social. No, I can't even. Yeah, no. Yep. Mm-hmm. I had to process it. I was about to say some BS. Kiki wrote ambivert. I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Aunt wrote, laughing my ass off. Miss Shirley, this was the one you're talking about. You ever hear a mother tell her daughter to marry an older man for the need of his resources, and she will grow to love him later? Yeah,
that's what that lady saying. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Miss Shirley, we said this. I remember this conversation 2 weeks ago when Maya's cousins was on here talking crazy. I don't want my daughter to be with somebody older, because I made the statement that I think that young women should be searching for, or that young women should be matched with older, more mature men. Just because the man, in order for the man to be needed, like we're talking about, in order to be able to provide and protect, it takes longer to develop than what a man would need out of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear what a man needs out of a woman, a woman can develop those things earlier on, especially if she has the right women around her raising her. For a man, it's going to take a little bit longer to secure, a good, solid, paying job maybe, or to create your own business, whatever that may be, to work yourself up to the point where you can not only lead, but you can, have both aspects, protecting and providing. So that's why I said, and men mature a little bit later on overall, I feel like, at least in this society. But maybe we all just maturing late.
Get some money. Yeah.
All right. Well, Kamari just needs some bread. So all you need is some money and protection, right?
We can start there.
All right. So come with some cash app, and bring a gun.
No cash app, Zelle.
Zelle and bring a gun. Miss Shirley said, no, I do one-on-one. I've mentored the hardest gang members from ages 13 to 18 for the last 15 years. That's amazing. See, I knew it. And that's another example of leaning into what you're good at. I can sit here and never have spoken to you in a phone conversation, but just the engaging that we're having on here, and it stands out to me, something that you have a very particular unique skill set for. But maybe a lot of older, not say more mature people who have more experience have that as well. So I'm just thankful that you're actually doing it, because I'm sure you're saving a lot of kids.
Amen.
Miss Shirley wrote, my ma go to be my leader, but I'm not submissive. My man is going to be my leader, but I'm not submissive. Miss Shirley, if you with me, you gonna be. Now let me stop playing with Miss Shirley. Miss Shirley, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Oh, you said okay. My man has to be my leader, but I'm not submissive. What you think, Ma?
I guess it depends what your definition of submissive is.
Mm-hmm. Why do so many women have an issue with the word submission and being submissive? I'm just wondering, for real.
No, I'm wrapping it around. I think because people look at it as like, oh, I'm just on my knees serving this person. Like, but sometimes ain't nothing wrong with that either. I think.
Yeah, true. Right?
You got to do something. You got to pay the bills. No, I'm joking.
Hey,
no, I think that
you get what you qualify for.
Respect. I think that it's just one of those things where people look at it differently, like just like love. Like, what's your definition of submitting? Because some people you can easily be like, I would do anything. I would like do anything for this person. There's some people it's like, yeah, definitely wouldn't do that for this person. And you could do that with like dating. There's certain things that like a guy that I've been with where I'm like, whatever you like. And then there's sometimes where it's like, stop. Like, why would you even ask me that? But like, it just depends. It really depends on what your definition is. But I think everybody, like Anthony said, both parties can submit in different areas. People do. They do. We submit. It just, if we, again, probably look up the core definition of it, we do it all day.
I got you right now. I'm throwing it in the chat. So this is the definition of submission: the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. So a superior force.
That's where that comes into that.
But the superior force does not necessarily have to be another person. It says a superior force or to the will of an authority of somebody else. So when you have a leader, like how I look at it is exactly what Ant's talking about. Like I'm submitting, like I'm submitting to being the protector and the provider and taking on that responsibility and being the leader. I'm submitting to that as well. Like that's something that I'm submitting to, and it's to the overall, and it's to the overall force, a superior force. I would look at the superior force as the responsibility that comes along with being the leader, protector, provider. You get what I'm saying? So I'm submitting to that as well. I have no problem saying that. But go ahead.
I'm just saying, I feel like the type of person I am, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make the situation work for the better. So if that's submissive.
Kamari shooting her shot, fellas. She out here. Somebody come scoop Mara up.
No. I'm just saying, like, in all honesty, though, because that's the truth. So whatever that looks like, because somebody may say what I'm doing, a woman may say oh, that's too much. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, but there's certain lengths that like that's nothing to me. If you know what I'm saying, like there's certain things where it's like it really could be nothing to you if you are in a, I won't even want to say comfortable, but if I have a man and he's providing and protecting and he may just require a beer when he gets home every day, why would I not have his seat warm with a beer cold every day?
Yo,
Like, why not?
I,
But
good
it's just one
question.
of those things where I think that sometimes people look at submissive as just like this horrible thing, or maybe they just look at it from their point of view, where like they person ain't so like why would you do that, sis? Like it's not moving in a great direction. So yeah, I would look at it that way too.
Kamari
But
dating show is back. Yeah, we still releasing that. We working on it. We getting some clearance. We're just getting some clearance that we need. But yeah, we locked in on the Kamari dating show, and it's not just Kamari. Kamari is just gonna be the first person on there. Miss Shirley wrote, "My father didn't raise me to be submissive, and but to be able to help my husband if he gets sick." Let me ask you this: if a man is doing everything in a respectful way that you're asking him for, wouldn't you want to submit to him?
I think we just naturally do. I think we do.
Right. Now, because you're only submitting in certain areas, going back to what Ant says, you're submitting in the leadership category. But, let's say a woman provides nurture, they're the nurturer. I don't think the woman has to submit to the man when it comes to the nurturing aspect. You know what I mean? The man would probably say like, "Hey, what's best? I'm gonna lean on you for that. You're better in that area." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you lead in that area.
Yeah.
But with the overall responsibility, in my opinion, it has to fall on one person.
Yeah.
So if I'm the leader, if when all of this stuff, if things ever go left, if we ever lose all this, if something gets destroyed, if something breaks into this house, that's on me. That's on me. I'm accepting that responsibility. So therefore, if you want that man to have that responsibility, then shouldn't that exchange be the submission part?
Yeah, I think also too you can look at it from a standpoint of like love languages and speaking up. So like say somebody's like, yo, we haven't spent a lot of time together in the past couple of weeks, like I need to see you or whatever like that. Somebody saying like if a woman says that to her dude, like, hey, I know you've been working a lot, I'm understanding of that, but like we haven't had any one-on-one time. So that man may say, you know what, damn, okay, let me, I know I got a couple of hours free on Thursday, so let me put together something so that we can get together and have a picnic or do lunch or whatever the case is. That is to me a way of submission. Somebody be like, fuck your girl, like you see her when you want to see her, like you don't got time to, like you don't need to miss this, like you need to have lunch with us, like whatever that is. And I think if you value where you are, to me, I think that looks like submission too. Like, okay, you know what? She says that we haven't seen each other in a few weeks. She's right. I could take this hour and give this to her. I think that's a way of submitting too, in a way where it's not that traditional idea of like punking somebody or making somebody feel less than, because it's not. It's all about the greater good. So I think even, yeah, just what works for the people, the persons, and that's what really comes down to it. Because we're gonna say a lot of stuff, but when we get that person that pulls at them places that'll feel uncontrollable, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
All right. So Miss Shirley wrote, "He raised me like he raised my brothers, and it has made me the woman I am today." Yeah. Can't argue with results. Definitely can't argue with results. But if you feel that that type of upbringing has helped, then maybe we could look into that a little bit more as well. I just, from a personal standpoint, believe that submission is required from both people in different ways. Hold on, let's go to Kiki's. Do I believe that submission is required from men? Well, I want to be clear as far as it pertains to like how we were discussing it with Anthony, and yeah. So, Kiki wrote, "If a man is doing everything asked of me, I would naturally want to submit. But if I see signs of him leading me in the wrong direction, I gotta go. LOL. Actually, I'm gonna run.
Period.
Yeah, that's conditional, right? That goes back to what we started off. That love is conditional. You know, you could love somebody because they're actually living up to particular standards and conditions that align with the overall responsibility that you're looking for them to carry out. But when that's changed, those conditions change. So therefore, the love's going to change, and everything else, the respect's going to change. Miss Shirley wrote, referring to being totally controlling because it's a partnership. Yeah. Oh God, partnership. I can't. Yeah, partnership. I don't, and I'm open to, obviously hearing other sides of it, but when I hear a partnership, it means that, I always think about like, 50-50. Now I understand that it may not necessarily be equal partners, but I just think that it sets a bad precedent based on where we are right now in society and the issues that we're facing when we say partnership. You want to know why? Because partnership doesn't show roles. It doesn't show the roles. And I think that where we are in society right now, we lack an understanding of certain roles that need to be provided. Aunt wrote it. Aunt wrote partnership triggered DAC. Yeah, like
Right.
it's just not a husband and a wife. Those are the roles.
I think when I hear the word partnership, I think of like holding hands, right? So and when somebody's holding hands, obviously you want to go to the same place at the same time together. And so when I think about when people call, relationships partnerships, it's like because that's the goal, to go somewhere at the same place at the same time together, holding on to one another. You may need me at certain points, I may need you at certain points. And this season I may be pulling and you may be pulling another season. So I just look at it like that when people look at partnerships. So when you think about submission or that controlling aspect, it's like you still got to hold my hand. We still need each other if we're trying to get to the same place and trying to go to the same place at the same time. So it's no need for one person to look at themselves differently if we're going to be helping each other pull at different times. But again, I think it's all about definitions, what I'm learning with us and what I'm learning within communication with you and everyone else, that we all have these different definitions of certain words, which take us to different places, which causes that,
Mm-hmm. Good convo, and it's good perspective. And like we said, I'd be a fool not to take heed to what Miss Shirley is saying. I'd be a fool to not take heed to what Queez is saying. I'd be a fool to not take heed to what Anthony is saying. For different reasons, based on their experience. Well, I'm talking about relationship. You're not in a relationship.
I know.
I'm talking about
I know.
You're not in a relationship. I'm not a parent, so you know what I mean. Me telling you something is not gonna hold the weight that Queez is telling. So what I'm saying is,
I just want you to say my name too.
I'd be a fool to not take heed to understanding who Kamari is and how I need to lead her and how she needs to follow all that. So is that what you want me to say?
My mother taught me womanly ways, but he taught me to be my taught me. Okay, read that. He taught me my husband backbone. Okay, I get that.
See how Kamari just tried to take my role and she struggled severely reading that? Play your role. Like, play your strengths. Play your strengths. Play your strengths.
Come on, okay, where we at? Let's ride this. I gotta go.
Do what you're good at. Yo, all right,
I gotta go.
We love y'all. We love y'all. This is 2 hours. Shout out Miss Gail. Come on, camera, Miss Gail.
I'm Gail.
Auntie.
Come here.
Auntie, you not gonna say what's up to the people?
I can't hear what she said. What'd you say?
You not gonna say what's up to the people?
He said you're not gonna say what's up to the people. Oh. You look cute anyway.
Okay, hello.
Hey, Auntie.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. I can't wait to meet you in person.
I know. We're gonna make it happen soon. Kamari didn't tell me you was going out to Chicago. I would have popped up on y'all.
Oh, well, then you got today and tomorrow.
Oh, the pressure, the pressure. All right, I'm gonna look at these flights.
Well, I'm enjoying you guys.
Yeah, no, this is what Kamari and I have is special. Like it's a special, and I'm just saying as far as it pertains to me, we just I don't know. And maybe that's just how I feel that it's special. Kamari is just so special to me, so therefore, it always allows me to
Well,
express
I enjoy
myself
it.
in
I'll
certain
listen
ways.
to y'all.
I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Well, blessings.
And you have a good day. I know y'all gonna
You
hit these
too.
Chicago streets.
Oh, you know I'm gonna hit them hard.
All right, there you go. There you go. All right. So Aunt wrote, y'all have a good weekend.
Yes. Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Let me read Miss Shirley's last comment. The man goes to work to provide for the family overall, and the woman provides for him to continue in a healthy, mentally, and emotional manner. Miss Shirley, you lucky that, well, sometimes I think back, or sometimes I wish that I was born when you were born, because I would have scooped you up. I would have scooped you up, or at least somebody with your same mindset. So, Miss Shirley, you are appreciated, and I hope you don't take that as disrespectful. But you really bring a lot of positive attributes to the table, and a lot of wisdom that I know if we all embrace, we'll be in a better place. So that's what I was saying. Bez G, bro. Oh, why? Bez G. Hey, I love you, Bez. I love you, Bez. Love is love. Oh man. All right, Mark. Can we get 15 seconds to take us out so you can go on your tour guide or your tour?
Yes. Okay. So 15 seconds for today. I am feeling really gushy in love. I'm feeling the love. But I think we can focus our 15 seconds today on just loving where we are, right? Where are you at that you love? And how can you use it to not allow you to destroy it? So what are the things you love and how can you use it to better your life? So yes, let's go. Five seconds. All right, we're done. Have a great weekend.
Y'all have a good one, man. Great one. All right, enjoy it.
Bye.
Enjoy. Go to the beach or something. Come on. What are we doing? Going to the beach. All right. See y'all later.